Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Kadavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So then, continuing, that means we're now at the very end of the Gita. Krishna has spoken the whole Gita. So Krishna looked at Arjuna sitting at his feet. Tell me then, O son of Kunti, have you heard everything attentively? Is your illusion dispelled? Arjuna stood up in the chariot and took hold of the Gandiva. My dear Krishna, my illusion is gone, and by your mercy I have regained my memory. I am now firm and free from doubt. I shall act according to your divine instructions. Because the whole point of instructions, of knowledge, is to remove the Ajnana Shakti. Right? It means that when the living entity turns their attention towards the material world, they come under the control of the Ajnana Shakti. And that's then what makes them act in, according to good and bad, and receiving good and bad results, while moving in the cycle of samsara within the material world. So only by the transcendental instruction, then one can go beyond that and actually come back to one's original position as the servant of the Lord, leaving the material world, going back to the spiritual world, and staying there instead of being here. And so you're actually creating an eternal solution to the problems of the material world. So we see here is that instruction has been given. Arjuna now is free from this illusion. Now he's able to act and fight. So that's the whole point of education. Education should be able to remove the illusion of the living entity and bring him to his natural position. If it's not doing that, then it's not it on its own is not an important aspect of education. It's something that can be used in support of that kind of service, but it itself is not that important. Sitting before Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya said, having heard this conversation between two great souls, I feel my hair standing on end. So profound and wonderful is its import. My heart is thrilled. Upon remembering Krishna's wondrous form, I rejoice again and again. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So Sanjaya, having heard this, then he sees that full import of the Bhagavad Gita, about that devotion and everything, and that real gain, real victory is coming from surrendering to Krishna, that service to Krishna. In that position, that's that's an eternal position for the soul. And all these other things are temporary. It's all relative, like we said before. Good and bad, it's all relative. So, and even activities in the material world, they remain relative unless they're connected to the absolute. Then they take on that quality. But otherwise, on their own, everything is simply relative. Right? It means, there's degrees of relativity, so that one understands there's a hierarchy and things like that. But ultimately, it's just all various ways to stay in the material world. So then Sanjaya, having heard this, now he says, this will be the great, be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Dhritarashtra said nothing. Sanjaya's prediction was certain to be fulfilled. The old king wondered how there could be any hope for his sons, but he still could not help wishing that somehow they would win the war. It was strange. Even though his intelligence accepted the obvious fact that Krishna and anyone who took his side could not be defeated, his attachment to his sons rose up and overpowered his intelligence. The internal conflict he suffered was itself a war. He could neither rest nor sleep, although he felt emotionally and physically drained. Somehow, hearing Krishna's instructions to Arjuna had soothed him, although his son's position seemed even more hopeless. Right? He sat holding his head as Sanjaya began to describe the beginning of the war. Right? So Krishna's discussions soothed him because he knows the Shastras and all things except for his attachment to his son. He knows very well what to do and what not to do. So hearing good instruction and all that will always make him happy. But at the same time is knowing that that's actually the instruction and that's the basis for seeing the outcome of the situation, then he knows that for his sons it becomes even more hopeless. So now Sanjay will describe the beginning of the war. Chapter 5, the war begins. The warriors on the Pandava side had watched and waited as Arjuna spoke with Krishna. Obviously, he had been overcome by uncertainty. No doubt, seeing his beloved grandfather and teacher had filled him with apprehension, right? Because they know he's qualified and would care about those things. If Duryodhana was doing that, they might think it's something else. Maybe he forgot and left the gas on, or his pet parakeet died, or his hamster, got sick, or something like that. But because it's Arjuna, they know that it's because, his respect for his teachers, for his guru, like this. Now he seemed to have regained his resolve. He was again standing in position on his chariot with the Gandiva held high. The Pandava warriors set up a great shout. They blew their conches and beat their drums. Horns and bugles sounded continuously and uproariously. In the sky assembled the hosts of rishis, siddhas, and other classes of celestials, all wanting to witness the battle, right? Because this is a battle of battles, right? It means when we talk about these Vedic battles, then the Kurukshetra battle of the Mahabharata and the battle in Lanka of the Ramayana, these are the ones that are remembered, right? They stand out amongst all other battles. There's other great battles, but these, stand out as the greatest. So whenever there's something of this caliber, then the rishis, siddhas, and that comes, because you see is that you're having the side of those who are following Krishna and those who are opposed. And so naturally it comes out as like the demigods and the demons and all that. Because in one sense, as we remembered before, Duryodhana, when he became disheartened, after he took his whole entourage, went to the forest to show off their opulence, and then they got captured by the Gandharvas, and Arjuna had to free them. Then he decided to give up. And from giving up, then he became, so despondent that the demons came and took him down to their place and told him, "Don't be despondent, we'll be there fighting for you. All these different warriors on your side, we're going to enter all their bodies, we'll fight on your behalf." So that's why before when they said, "Oh, Arjuna's the best and this one's the best," and all, he didn't care because he knew, oh no, but these demons will come and they're better than everyone. They don't know that Arjuna himself single-handedly killed, the 60,000 Yivadakavachas and then the other demons and all these, which no one else could kill, the demigods couldn't kill. So he's not thinking fully well, but that's his thought. Right? And so they want to come and see what's going to happen. Right? They're all wanting to witness the battle. They gaze in wonder at Arjuna's chariot, amazed to see Krishna acting as charioteer. Right? So here's Krishna, the Supreme Lord, acting as his devotee's charioteer. So they all came to see. Seeing that the battle was about to begin, Yudhishthira took off his armor and climbed down from his chariot. His brothers and the other warriors watched as he walked towards the Kauravas. What did he have in mind? Had he suddenly decided to be humble and hand over a bloodless victory to the Kuru forces? All his brothers called out to him, asking him about his intentions. But the king made no reply. Unarmed and unprotected, he walked straight towards Bhishma's chariot. Right, so he's just going because others say, because, it's whatever he's going to do is of some very grave importance and of grave necessity. So to stop and talk and all that, it'll become obvious as it goes on. The questions will be answered. Or when he gets back, then, we'll see. Krishna spurred on Arjuna's white horses, and the chariot moved closer to the cars of Bhima and the twins. "I know your brother's intentions," he said. "He intends to pay his respects to his gurus before fighting with them. It is said in the old histories that one who first offers his respects to his elders and teachers before engaging with them in battle gains victory." So that's why it's not something to discuss, because they say, is it this, that, or, do you have to do that, or, so many things. So his point is, this is what must be done. So he didn't go before because Arjuna, was listening to Krishna's instructions. So it wasn't sure what his intent was. But now that he's ready to fight, now that means the battle will begin. And now that battles begin, then Yudhishthira has to take the blessings of his gurus. Having taken blessings of his gurus, then the battle proper can be made. As Yudhishthira approached Bhishma, shouts of "Alas!" were heard among the Pandava forces, because they don't know. Krishna's told Bhima and the twins, but he hasn't told, Arjuna means he's there on the chariot. But the others don't know. Were heard among the Pandava forces, who thought that, in the face of such tremendous opposition, he had decided not to fight. Dhritarashtra's sons thought that Yudhishthira was afraid. "Just see this infamous wretch," they laughed. "Stricken with terror, he has gone to Bhishma to beg for his mercy." Right? So immediately everybody is thinking the worst in whatever scenario. Disregarding their jeers, Yudhishthira went before Bhishma, who got down from his own chariot as Yudhishthira approached. The Pandava bowed down and took hold of Bhishma's feet. "O invincible one, I bow to you," he said. "We will fight with you. Please grant us your permission and give us your blessings." Right, because they're going to fight, so it's improper to fight with the guru. But in this case, because they're Kshatriyas, and they're on the battlefield, or they're on the battlefield in the capacity of Kshatriyas like Drona, then, fighting is there. So you take the permission that we may fight. It's just not taken for granted that you can fight just because it's there. No, because he's your guru, you still have to take permission. Bhishma smiled and raised his right hand. "O ruler of the earth, O great king, if you had not come to me in this way, I would have cursed you with defeat. I am pleased with you, dear son. May you fight and obtain victory." Right, so by getting the blessings, then they'll, because you come to fight, so the guru, being kind to the disciple, will always give benediction that he will attain victory. Like that. So that's what Krishna says. It's said in the Shastras, right? It's said in the old histories that one who first offers respect to his elders and teachers before engaging with them in battle gains victory. "Ask for a boon, O son of Kunti, anything you desire. Alas, men are the slaves of wealth, but wealth is no one's slave. I am bowed by the wealth of the Kurus, and like an impotent man, I stand against you in battle, although I know your cause is just. Tell me, dear child, what you wish to have from me." Right, and here also, because he wants to do, he's giving benefit, blessing that he'll be victorious, because in victory means he'll be victorious over the Kauravas, who have usurped the throne, aren't dealing in the proper ways, and so then Yudhishthira will establish the proper rule, and in that way the citizens will be able to move forward in their pursuit of God consciousness. So at the same time, is because he himself is, due to his obligation, because the Kauravas are maintaining him and respecting him and giving the position. So on that platform, then he is obligated, and he feels bad for that, because it's not actually ideal, because Yudhishthira is fighting for actual, the proper just cause, as he said. So, but he spiritually, then you see he's always supporting the Pandavas and everything like this. So the spiritual side goes with the Pandavas, but on the occupational side, that's going with Dhritarashtra. So he's asked that you please boon for me, at least as something I can do, something. Yudhishthira felt tears coming to his eyes. "O wise man, desiring my welfare, please look after my interests. Do your duty and fight for the Kuru's sake. This is my wish." Yeah. So he's saying, desiring my welfare, look after my interests. My interest is that you'll fight nicely for you. Means his point is everyone should do their duty nicely. He's performing his duties in context of the Kurus. So therefore, in that context, he should do it very nicely. That would make him happy that Bhishma Deva is doing his duty nicely. He would feel bad if he wasn't doing his duty nicely. Bhishma appeared despondent. "Although I must fight for your enemies, O king, tell me what I can do for you." Yudhishthira folded his hat and bowed his head. "O sire, there is one thing I will ask. Tell me how we will be able to vanquish you, who are invincible. If you see any good in it, please give me this information for my benefit." Right? So he's asking for that, but he's also saying I'm asking this. I don't necessarily know what is of benefit or not. You're my elder. So if you think that my desire is beneficial, then you tell me. But if you think, no, it's not necessary, or it's not important for you, or you wouldn't understand, so then he'll leave it. Bhishma stood with his large silver-gilded bow in his hand. Although advanced in years, he was still a formidable figure in his polished gold and silver armor. He placed a hand on Yudhishthir's shoulder. O descendant of Bharata, I do not see that man who can defeat me in battle, even if he be the lord of the celestials. The time for my death has not yet come. Approach me again and ask this question at some other time. So it said, be it so. Yudhishthir again bowed to his grandfather and then walked away. So Bhishma's point is, there is no one who can defeat me, and this is not the time for me to leave, so therefore come and ask me at a different time. Yudhishthir again bowed to his grandfather and then walked away. Making his way through the lines of curious soldiers, he went to Drona. After circumambulating his chariot, he said, O invincible hero, tell me how I may fight with you, my worshipable teacher, without incurring sin. How, O great Brahman, will I be able to vanquish my enemies? Like Bhishma, Drona said, O king, if you had failed to come to me, I would have cursed you with defeat. I am pleased with you, sinless one. You have my permission to fight. May victory be yours. Please tell me what I can do for you. I desire to give you a boon. Alas, I cannot fight for you, for I am a slave of the Kuru's wealth, but I will pray for your victory. Tears again sprang to Yudhishthir's eyes as he heard Drona's affectionate tone of voice. How cruel a fate that he should be forced to fight his esteemed and elderly guru. But Drona would be difficult to overcome. Although he was now old, his energy appeared undiminished, and he could still fire an unending stream of arrows from his great bow. He also knew the secrets of all the celestial and earthly weapons. Yudhishthir could not imagine anyone even approaching him in battle. With reverence he said, O Brahmana, do pray for me, and tell me also what is good for me. Fight for the Kurus with all your might, that is my desire. Drona looked lovingly at his disciple. Although not as physically powerful as Arjuna and Bhima, Yudhishthir was strong in his ability to remain fixed on the path of virtue. Drona knew that a pious man was always protected by his virtue. He glanced at Arjuna's chariot across the field. O king, your victory is certain. You have Krishna as your counselor, and righteousness is always with him. Where there is Krishna, there must be victory. O son of Kunti, go and fight with full confidence. What else will I say to you? So he's given that benediction that, you're going to be there, because he's just asking that, you perform your duties nicely. Then he says, but he says, what else can I say? O mighty armed one, please tell me how you may be defeated, Yudhishthir said. As long as I fight, you will not obtain victory, O king. Therefore seek my death at the earliest opportunity. But there are none who can face me when I am fighting. Neither man nor celestial can stand before me when I am angry and scattering an incessant shower of arrows in all directions. O Bharata, only when I lay down my weapons and am prepared for death, with my senses withdrawn, will you be able to kill me. This is the truth. Having heard something disagreeable from some credible source, I shall abandon my arms and cease fighting. Right, so he being a Brahmana, he being, in his position and that, so something that he finds that, is just, he's uninspired due to hearing this, only then will he put down his weapons. Point is, as long as he's fighting, you won't defeat him. So you have to kill him when he's not fighting. Right. Yudhishthir bowed to his preceptor. Thinking about what he had said, he walked towards Kripa's chariot. After offering respects to the old Brahmin warrior, said, O teacher, only with your permission can I fight without incurring sin. Please permit me to engage in battle to defeat my enemies. Like Bhishma and Drona, Kripa replied that he would surely have cursed Yudhishthir to be defeated if he had not come to him for his permission. He also lamented his obligation to the Kauravas. Having stated his inability to fight for him, he asked Yudhishthir what else he could do for him. As he stood before Kripa, Yudhishthir felt as if his heart might break. First Bhishma, then Drona, now Kripa. All three were like fathers to him and his brothers. Fathers to him and his brothers. From their childhood, when they had first come to Hastinapur, these elders had cherished and taught them with the greatest care. He could not recall a single cruel word or deed from any of them. Now he must go before them and ask how they could be killed. Yudhishthir stood with head bowed. His throat was choked and he could not say anything. Understanding his plight, Kripa said, O king, no one can kill me. Knowing this, go and obtain victory. right? So his point is he can't be killed. He's just, because these great, powerful personalities, they come with certain, benedictions that they have, boons that they may have, austerities, great, so there's something there that they're in a unique position. So as it is, these three can't be killed on their own. And so then, therefore Bhishma said, come later. Drona said, you could only kill me if I'm not fighting. And Kripa said, you won't kill me. But he's, not worried. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.